trained mechanic that does it every day, that knows what they're doing, by gosh, it's worth every dollar. Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here, the mighty mini-tropolis of Marnie, Iowa, home of Baxter Cycle. And look what we have today. Some of you will recognize this hot rod. That is my famous La Rosa. I bought this about 20 months ago. There's La Rosa right there. It's a Royal Enfield Himalayan. It's got about a little over 18,000 miles on it. And today is the day. But we're going to give it a tune-up. I'm not going to get rid of this hot rod. I love that bike. That's my favorite overall motorcycle of all time, and I've had dozens. So I have a lot of good things to say about this bike. So what is it real quick? It's a 411cc, single overhead cam, single cylinder, air-cooled, oil-cooled. Oil cooler is over here. 5-speed transmission. Kind of a little industrial transmission, you know. It's as far as Royal Enfield transmissions goes, it's a little more tractor-like, but it's still really good. I like it a lot. Wheelbase is 58 inches. I think that's 1,477 millimeters, I believe. The ground clearance is 8.6 inches. That's 220 millimeters. The rear suspension has 7.1 inches of travel. I think that's 180 millimeters. The front has 200 millimeters of travel. That's 7.9 inches. It's a 21-inch tire on the front. I think it's a 90-90-21 right there. And the rear is a 120-90-17, it looks like. These are Dunlop Trail Max Missions. This back tire, this awesome back tire, is the second tire I've had on this bike. Has 18,000 miles on it. Brakes on this, I think it's a 300 millimeter front disc, ABS, dual pot Vibri. They're going to do the recall. There's a recall in the front. They're going to do that today. I believe the back is a 240 millimeter Vibri, ABS of course. Seat height on this in stock form is about 800 millimeters or 31.5 inches. I've got this raised seat on there. We'll talk about that in a bit. So my seat height is about 840 millimeters or about 33 inches. Gas tank is 4 gallons, 15 to 16 liters. Extras on this bike. Of course, I already talked about the tires. I raised the front tire up. You should always do that on these. I got this front grille on the headlight, which I like. Put this giant windshield on the front. This is a Calci, the biggest windshield they made at the time for this motorcycle that I could find by anybody. I got this at baxtercycle.com. And actually, that's where I got pretty much everything on here from Baxter Cycle. So, and I just love it. When I first got it, I thought it was too big. First time I had to drive in a cold day in the rain. Turns out it's my favorite windshield of all time. I've got these Royal Enfield hand protectors on here. Now they attach on this end, they're open on this end, and you think, well, how is that possibly strong enough? I dropped this bike a couple weeks ago. There's a video back there you can find, and this took the force, and you can see there's a little damage on there. You can see where it's scraped up here, but they did their job. They did it very well. I've also got these mirror extenders on here to move the mirrors out. I wanted them up higher and out farther. Oh, this is a tire sensor gauge that's dedicated. I can turn that on. I've got little sensors here on my tire, and they attach by Bluetooth to this little device here, and that's waterproof and USB chargeable. I got these little brackets back here. They were the small ones. Almost nobody puts those on, but I think they're the right ones to go, at least for me. Little net here for cargo. This is the required, in the state of Iowa, you're required to have a Bigfoot on the back of your motorcycle. What else can, oh, speaking of Bigfoot, every one of these Enfields should have a larger foot on. From the factory, this kickstand is about 1 inch square at the end. It's just not big enough. So I put this one on. Chain, I've had to put a new chain on. I put a new chain on it about 9,000 miles ago. Well, it's 9,000 miles later, and I think this one is about to the point where I need to maybe change it again. So I'm going to think about getting that done. So what are we here for today? Well, 18,000 miles. I've ridden the snot out of that bike. I've done all my own maintenance, all valve adjustments. Everything's been good. Oil changes, all that neat stuff. I think I'm going to let the professionals here, Baxter's, take a crack at it. Baxter Cycle, they're going to do the full service, check everything out, do my valves, do everything that needs done, look everything over, make sure she's, you know, new bike ready for me. So, and I'm going to let them have at it. Now, I think that'll do the bike good. Things that I, you know, have become accustomed to and don't see, they may see. I love this motorcycle. Like I said, it's my favorite motorcycle, and I want this baby to run well. I introduced you to my new helmet. This is a HJC, I think it's a V31 it's called. It's got this adjustable, this not only does it go up and down, but adjusts forward and backwards. And that means you can tune it to sit right against your cheek, and you don't get any wind turbulence underneath your helmet. I got that here, Baxter cycle. I just love that thing. Just love it. I'm going to get this bike inside. They're going to get stripped down, let it cool down for a while, and get to work on it. So I'll catch up with y'all later. That red stuff on there is dragon's blood. That's the exhaust valve, intake valve. That big hole in the side, we don't know what that is. Maybe that's where the air filter goes. There is the tire off the bike. This is Master Technician Mitchell putting on the new caliper right there. The magic's happening. They're letting this cool down. They got a fan on it so they can get the valves adjusted. I'm in no hurry so they can take the time out. They're also going to do a new caliper on the front. Howdy y'all, just got the spa day done for the old hot rod here. They did a bunch of work to it. Hopefully she will be a dream machine on the ride home. I haven't ridden her yet. So what do? New air filter. They put a new caliper on the front. Nice and shiny. New caliper on the back. They adjusted my valves. They cleaned and did all kinds of little doodads and things like that. They put, here's the cool part, a new chain on it. So this bike has got a little over 18,000. That's the second chain, it's a DID chain. And I just love it. I just love it. I knew I needed one. I was going to see what they said, and they recommended, and I knew it needed it. So I think tomorrow I might ride this. I got a couple hundred mile ride planned for tomorrow, and I might take this. I'm not sure yet. I might take the Classic instead. You know, I got to do a video that compares this bike to the Classic that I've got, my Classic 350. You know, there's a lot of difference between the two, and this is, you know, my all-time favorite motorcycle. But that Classic is really it's really gaining fast. Yeah, they did a good job. I'm going to go inside and pay the bill, and I'm going to hop on this little hot rod and go have some fun. Howdy y'all, Fuzzy just got done. Put about 50 miles on that hot rod. Oh, Baxter Cycle Spa Day was a great success. They took good care of that thing. I just can't believe how everything, every single thing, the throttle, the clutch, the brakes, everything works just so much better than it did when I took it there this morning. It's just a wow event. Worth every penny I had to pay. Can you hear it ticking? They also gave me, you know, they get the new air filter, the new the valve adjustments, redid my brakes, adjusted everything. They must have adjusted my clutch. This certainly got adjusted. The throttle got adjusted. I mean, it just works 100 times better. Then they put this, I think it's a DID chain on it. That makes a heck of a difference too. There's the old tire with 14,000 miles on it. Can you believe that? But boy, what fun, what fun. Now a little bit of story time for you. I have my low boots on. I'm not going to show you, but I got a wasp in there, and he stung me a couple times. I had to pull the bike over and take my shoe off on the side of the road. But anyway, I got through it. You would think that's a rare event, right? Happens at least once a year. So what do? I usually wear a tall boots. I guess I should have again today. But you know, they took this off, put the new air filter on. They took the whole bike apart. They had it in pieces everywhere. I'm just so appreciative. They adjusted my mirror. I've been calling this my 75-mile-an-hour mirror because the 75 it kind of folds over. They tightened that whole thing up, you know, adjusted it so it doesn't give me that grief anymore. It works perfectly. I mean, it's just, those guys are magic. I really appreciate their work. I really do. Baxter Cycle Spa Day for your bike. If you want your old bike to run like new again, give that a shot. I mean, you know, a trained mechanic that does it every day, that knows what they're doing, by gosh, it's worth every dollar. Every dollar. I've fallen in love with it again. I'm going to go and eat some supper, and I think I'm going to go burn a tank of gas through that tonight yet. So y'all do the same if you can. Life is good. Get out there and ride. Wahoo!